Good day. My name is Chief Strongblood. I am St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite most citizen. I am the diaspora machismo. My people, I did not protest today because today is a public holiday. And it totally skipped me that today was the 4th of July. And since I protested on Wednesday and did not do a video on Wednesday, I think it is only fair that since I came out here, I should do Wednesday's video today. And you know, when I'm finished protesting and when I've brought you an update as to what transpired while I protest, it is always my pleasure and my delight to bring you something of a social nature as it relates to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Many of you have been asking why I rarely do video as it relates to the political situations in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And the truth is, keeping up with Ralph Gonsalves' ignorance is highly exhausting. Keeping up with the foolishness that occurs in St. Vincent and the Grenadines on the political realms is highly exhausting. I have been tired. The only reason I'm doing this political video right here is because it involves my people, the Unionites, and the farmers of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The truth is, keeping up with the unceremonious political behaviors of Ralph Gonsalves exhausts me and it makes me angry because I am yet to understand how can a man who have been in politics even when I was a child, and who have been the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines for now a quarter of a century, still do not understand how government works and the political expediency and the forum in which things are to be dealt with. When Prime Minister Gonsalves was given the opportunity to speak at that CARICOM meeting in St. Vincent and the Grenadines earlier this week, he spoke of something that involved the Trinidad and Tobago business sector and the St. Vincent and the Grenadines business sector. He didn't speak about anything as it relates to government relations. And he tried to make it sound like the Trinidadian government is taking advantage of St. Vincent and the Grenadines where it relates to trade. For more than 10 years now, the traffickers in St. Vincent and the Grenadines have been complaining about a situation that exists in Trinidad and Tobago that has nothing to do with the Trinidad and Tobago government. It's a situation where the traffickers will go to Trinidad and Tobago with their produce. They will go through the activities of selling their produce in Trinidad and Tobago. However, when they receive their monies for their produce, there exists a situation where the traffickers, after they have sold their produce, they are unable to get a fair exchange for the TD dollar, either in Eastern Caribbean dollars or in the United States dollars. And that is because of Trinidad's high regulated foreign exchange policies, where they're trying to prevent money laundering, and in so doing, to convert monies from TT dollars to Eastern Caribbean dollars or even to US dollars is a hassle. And when those traffickers bring large amounts of Trinidad and Tobago dollars to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they are having a problem because of the low value of the Trinidadian dollar and because of the low demand for purchasing of Trinidad and Tobago's dollar. The bank are reluctant in converting those TT dollars into US and EC dollars. First thing, this is not a CARICOM problem. This is a St. Vincent and the Grenadines problem to solve. And not with the help of Trinidad and Tobago, because this situation benefits Trinidad and Tobago and the foreign exchange and their trade. I did a video on this several years ago, and I recommend that those traffickers open bank accounts in RBTT, the Trinidad and Tobago bank that operates in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. After they've completed their trade in Trinidad and Tobago, all they have to do is bank the money in RBTT in Trinidad and Tobago and fly home. Their monies will be in their account. This was something I did with HSBC Bank in Bermuda. So when I came to the United States of America, even for vacation, I could have go to any HSBC bank in the United States and do withdrawals if I needed to, with absolutely no hassle. Ralph Gonsalves should have been ashamed to bring up this situation in that forum, not only because it was not the right forum in which this thing should be handled, but the fact that he declared that the trade deficits between Trinidad and Tobago and St. Vincent and the Grenadines is some $68 million a year. I say 68, Ralph Gonsalves says 64. And let me tell you why it is $68 million a year. St. Vincent and the Grenadines imports $64 million of products. And when I say $64 million, I mean 64 million US dollars worth of products from Trinidad and Tobago each year. St. Vincent and the Grenadines export a measly $4 million of product to Trinidad and Tobago each year. When you take a product that we import lawfully from Trinidad and Tobago, and when you add the $4 million of export that we export to Trinidad and Tobago, where the hard cash does not come back to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but in turn, the traffickers are forced to spend that money in Trinidad and Tobago, buy products in Trinidad and Tobago, and ship them back to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That means the trade deficit between St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Trinidad and Tobago is $68 million to zero. The question is, why would the government of Trinidad and Tobago invest money in helping the traffickers of St. Vincent and the Grenadines take that extra $4 million out of Trinidad and Tobago when they have a proper system where that money and the goods remains there? This problem that Ralph Gonsalves is griping over existed for more than 10 years. And it is an easy fix from a governmental standpoint. But this man is an idiot. He do not know how to go about solving such a simple problem that will cause $4 million US to come into our country and strengthen the circulating capital. He is a total idiot. The second situation I want to talk about here.
While we are doing all this, you have a responsibility. And you have a responsibility in your family as a mother and a father. Because a responsible woman told me today something which is disturbing. The disturbing news she gave me is they have some young men and even some young girls who are going into people's place and steal things. And I understand that in some cases, some of the parents even encourage it. That's what I was told. Well, if that is so, we have to stop that. And I am going to have that addressed seriously by the Commissioner of Police. We are not going to tolerate that kind of ill discipline after we have been doing such fantastic work.
Here we have a situation in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where Ralph Gonsalves has at his disposal an entire law enforcement institution with several different branches, including the special branch, that is responsible for giving him clear, up-to-date intelligence as to what is happening in every part of the island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The police deals with all incidents of crime and non-criminal offenses that occurs in that country. They have a systematic, reliable means of collecting data as it relates to crimes that have been committed. Yet he went to Union Island to address the Unionites, and all he was concerned about is to repeat gossip that was relayed to him by Rosamond Adams of the Union Island Committee that he formed to try to sway the Unionites in his favor. He did not use any real hard, reliable information that was gathered by the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force through any of its agencies, but he found himself reciting the information that was given to him by people who were trying to badmouth each other in the community in order to gain his favor and to get some handout. The year is 2025. Is this the way a prime minister in the year of 2025 is going to be conducting business, is going to be conducting the people's business, ignoring the institutions that were set up for their purposes and using second-hand, unreliable gossip as a true source of information in which to address the people he is speaking to? I hope the people of Union Islands has not forgotten that Ralph Gonsalves used Hurricane Beryl and the impact of Hurricane Beryl on Union Island and its citizens to try to destroy the islands and their people. Are the people of Union Islands going to be deceived by the lies of these Caucasians who intend to use them as voting cattle and has no real plans or purpose for their well-being? Unionites have to send that fool packing from whence he came. He is of no good to himself. He is of no good to his wife. He is of no good to his family. He is of no good to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. His only true value is to become manure, and you plant some tree on him and hope that when his dead, decomposed body have gone through its final process, that it will be able to give some nutrients to the tree that is planted upon his grave. Otherwise than that, Ralph Gonsalves has no value to no one or nothing. And now that you have rejected, that is, the people of Union Islands have rejected Chevron Strout, his choice of a candidate for the Unionites, he is sending his criminal and those people, those reprobates who are under his power, to cause the commission of serious crime on that small island. If you can remember well, when Ralph Gonsalves' government approved the construction of a jetty in Jackson Bay in Layou, and the residents of Layou came out in protest and said they don't want that jetty on their beach and in their community, from the very time the people of Layou rejected Ralph Gonsalves and the private sector plans to put a jetty on the beach in Layou. About a month or so after, almost every weekend they were drive-by shooting in Layou. They were shooting of some sort in Layou, and none of those criminals were brought to justice. It is not until I brought it to your attention that this is Ralph Gonsalves sending his criminal, those slaves, those people who he have enslaved, to Layou in revenge for not allowing him to have his own way, as in having his people put a jetty on the base in Layou. That Ralph Gonsalves is sending his criminals there to wreak havoc, to make the people of Layou insecure. And as soon as I did that video, there was never, from that day forward, a shooting in Liu. Again, no more drive-by. All of a sudden, they all stopped. It is the same thing that is happening in Union Island. Because the Unionites reject Chevron Strait, Ralph Gonsalves is sending his criminal, those people who he have control over, to wreak havoc on the island of Union Island. Those Unionites who get involved in homosexuality, bestiality and abortion, who he controls because they are his slaves. Those are the ones, when there are crimes of this nature that are committed in the United Islands, they are the ones who are doing it. Union Island, your problem started with Hurricane Beryl. Ralph Gonsalves saw an opportunity to destroy your community. He saw an opportunity to destroy your children. That is why he refused to repair the Union Island Secondary School on the island. But yet, now, he had the children journeying to St. Vincent and the mainland, where they were going to school, unprotected, where they were at the mercies of the pedophiles and the homosexuals and the other criminals that exist on the mainland, and will recognize these children without any proper social support network and take advantage of them. When you hear him talking about his concern, it is his guilty conscience. He is trying to deflect the attention from him. My people, why do you think the Coast Guard vessel run aground in Union Island? It's because the Most High God is asking the people of Union Island to wake up and see what Ralph Gonsalves is doing. It is a government vessel. That means the problems that you are currently experiencing with a crime situation on that island is created by the highest office in the land, the Prime Minister's office. Ralph Gonsalves, like he did to the people of Liu, is now taking vengeance upon you all for rejecting Chevron Strait. And in the same way, the problem in Liu stopped when I brought this to the people of Liu's attention. Several years, it's a month or so ago. It's the same way the problem in Union Island is going to stop, because Ralph Gonsalves is going to see this video. He's going to become ashamed. He'll pull back. Trust me on that. The chief has spoken. Remember, like this video, share this video, leave a comment on this video, and there is many more videos like this one right here. So go and check them out and let me know what are your thoughts on those videos. My name is Chief Strongblood. I am St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son. I am the diaspora machismo. Talk to you on Monday.